He's remembered as America's dad. Bob Saget not only made an impact on his millions of fans across the country, but also on the lives of those he mentored. Saget took local comedian Kelsey Cook under his wing early on in her career. New at 6, she told 4 News Now's Olivia Roberts why she believes his guidance changed everything.
First off, I mean, the craziest fun fact, or just like the best icebreaker fun fact I've ever read was possibly your life story about how you are the daughter of international yo-yo champion, a professional baseball player. I mean, with literally these athletic skills, how did you end up here? How did you end up as a comic?
Thank you. As a clown, yeah. Well, I mean, my parents, it's obviously that like those are cool athletic things, but they're weird bar sport things too. So they both pursued their passions, and I think it made me feel like I could pursue my passion too. So, my dad is a trumpet player in the Spokane Symphony, and my mom is a retired teacher now. But yeah, they both also really love their weird side hobbies.
You tweeted on the day of Bob Saget's passing that you were lucky enough to open for him years ago. Walk us through that night. Kind of talk a little bit about that experience and what led you there, and what that was like performing for someone like that.
Sure. So that was back in 2016, and I was living in Seattle at the time. And Bob was headlining Snoqualmie Casino, and his agents had reached out to a local comedy producer there and said, "Hey, we need an opener for Bob. Can you send us 10 of your best local comics YouTube sets," basically like a link. And so the producer reached out to me. I gave him one of my YouTube links, and then Bob watched all 10 comics sets on YouTube, and he ended up picking me. And that alone, I was just freaking out because it's Bob Saget, and I was 25. I had never opened for somebody big like that yet. And I showed up that night, and the second he walked in, I was probably like 40 feet away from him, and his first words, he just started like shouting to me like, "Oh my God, you're amazing. You're so funny. Where have you been?" And I was like looking over my shoulder. So I was like, he's not talking to me. This is crazy. And he just had that kind of energy and that warmth where it was so important to him to convey when he found somebody talented, and he really wanted to make them feel good, and that's exactly what he did. It was such a great night, and after my set, he told me that he wanted to help my comedy career if he could, and gave me his email. And anytime I would email him, he would respond right away and actually did all the things that he said he wanted to do to help me. It was never just like an empty promise. He actually cared. And after his passing, to see other comedians online come forward with stories similar to mine and say, "This is how he helped me," you're just like, wow, he did so much for so many people and never wanted, I think, the recognition for it. I think he just wanted to help.
If Bob were alive today and you could, have this one last moment with him and, share something with him, what would you tell him?
Oh, girl, you're trying to get me to cry on television. I would just want to really re-emphasize how much his help meant to me, and that I feel so lucky to have had him in my life, not because he's amazingly talented or famous or anything like that, but because he's so kind. And I think when you have somebody like that who really strives to see things in a positive way and give out love constantly, it just makes you want to do. It's contagious. And so, I would just want to thank him for every positive influence he's had on my life.
If you'd like to see Kelsey Cook perform her stand-up live, she's headlining the Spokane Comedy Club from August 25th through the 27th.